Recognize you, teacher, by your presence here in honor of George Moss. But from a personal point of view, George produced a wonderful family. His wife, his son who's a medical doctor and oncologist, practicing in the United Kingdom outside of Bristol, England. Another son who's a chartered accountant, and a daughter in financial services. But demonstrative of a commitment to children and making them the best they can, notwithstanding the fact that ample resources were not available. So George Moss, the husband, the father, has an exemplary presence in our country, and his children have rewarded he and his wife by their own attainments and achievements. George Moss was at BTC, or Bahamas Telecommunications Company. I was a young member of the government. That was just before I became a young member of the government. I became in 1977. The Water Corporation came about, I think, in 1976. George Moss in 1977. So our careers, mine in politics, his in the Water Corporation, almost commenced in terms of leading executive positions at the same time. I became a Minister of Health in 1977. But George Moss had to make a decision when given an opportunity to move from the field of telecommunications, where he would have had equally as an illustrious career ahead of him, to come and deal with the extraordinary challenges the Bahamas was facing with the provision of water and a rapidly developing New Providence, with people coming from the islands, new subdivisions opening up, but the problems of being able to provide the people of this country with an adequate, continuous supply of water. It was a time when we experienced severe water shortages, and on top of that, where the water had a special color in many areas.
Oh well.
That's the best way I can describe it. But George Moss took over the leadership. He had been trained not just academically as an engineer, but he'd also taken advantage of an opportunity to be trained in business. So he was able to bring a multifaceted approach to the administration of the Water and Sewage Corporation. Any pioneer, Bahamian pioneer, taking over in the transition to a newly independent country, reliant on external support, engineers from abroad, and his taking over that company and their being subject to his administration, meaning that he had a very, very transparent position where people will always be checking on what he's doing. By any stretch of the imagination, he succeeded immensely. And so I was pleased to see the recommendation from his fellow workers, where it emanated from, that we name in his honor the building of the Water Corporation. Life is never easy. Our country has an opportunity not just to demonstrate stability, but a deep understanding that from generation to generation we have to be in a continuum. There have and must necessarily be examples that we can use to show that someone has been rewarded not for their political contribution, but for their nuts and bolts contribution in developing institutions in our country. George Moss is deserving of every commendation.
Amen.
As the Lord would have it, human frailty and circumstances prevents him from being here with us today. And instead, his dear wife, his son, and members of his family are here to herald this occasion. We truly express our appreciation as a grateful nation for the work that your husband has done for his country. We want you to cherish this moment on his behalf. We want you to reflect on the essence of the relationship that you had with him. That you have with him. That has given you the family that stands also as an example to what good family life produces. We know that we need a continuous flow of example setters. People to whom we can look, point, and explain that this man served in this capacity for this period of time. And whilst he did so, not only did the corporation grow from strength to strength, but he also demonstrated what integrity in office is all about. To you, the inheritors of his legacy, you will speak, but we want you to appreciate how particularly important this occasion is. I will always remember George for the fact that he was always a humble person. High office never affected him, and he always seemed to be of the disposition that that was not important so long as he was serving. So I thank those of you who are his former colleagues, who have elected to come out and by your presence to signify your approval of the occasion. I thank those of you who are currently serving with the Water and Sewage Corporation, because it is upon his legacy that you are building, upon his innovation that you are prospering. And it is for you to ensure that future generations of Bahamians, by the way in which we institutionalize the story of George Moss, intertwined with the existence of the Water and Sewage Corporation that really became synonymous with him and his presence. That this always remains a special occasion in the annals of the history of our country, because we have paused on this day in the year of our Lord to recognize the achievement of a distinguished Bahamian son who overcame all the odds and became a defining contributor in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is for me to have the formal privilege of indicating formally that this building from this day forth will be known as the E. George Moss Building. Will you join me? A great honor for a great man.